Grab you a milkshake and a hamburger. We're talking Riverdale. This is a review for Riverdale, Chapter 7, In a Lonely Place. Well, I hate to say it, but I did not like tonight's episode of Riverdale. I thought it was really boring. I mean, it was kind of like a longhorn steer. There was one point at the beginning and at the end, and everything in between was just a bunch of bull. So at the beginning, you see Jughead, he's having some kind of fantasy dream where everything was set in the 1950s. Everyone's wearing sweater vests and they got the 1950s hairstyles and whatnot, and it's him with his main squeeze, Betty, now, and her parents, and then you have Polly, Jason, and then Archie walks in, he's got a knife in his back, and then he wakes up and he realizes, he's living in the janitor closet at the high school. Find out he's homeless because his dad's a drunk and his mom and his little sister, they took off, and then he decided to take off in Riverdale. And that's why he became homeless. And then Archie's like, hey, maybe I can talk to my dad. We'll talk to your dad. We can get him his job back. Blah, 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 blah. And that's kind of how the episode goes. We get more in with Jughead's father, played by Skeet Ulrich. He's a drunk, but he wants to, improve his life so he doesn't look like a piece of shit to his son. And we just kind of repeat old information that basically his father got fired from Andrews Construction because he was stealing stuff on the job and selling it on the side. And, him and Fred, Archie's father, used to be friends, but the friendship broke up because of the business, blah, 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 blah. But Fred still cares about Jughead, so they end up taking in Jughead by the end of the episode after they get him out of a jam with the sheriff, because the sheriff thought that maybe Jughead killed Jason. And they were searching for Polly, which I thought was interesting. Beginning, because, they're all out in the woods, and, we've got Betty and her parents, they're leading one search party, and the Blossoms are leading an angry mob of their own. But then they spill the beans about how Polly is pregnant with Jason's kid. And this kind of changes the Blossoms. Now they want to help. And Betty knows where Polly is because Polly was hiding in the attic the whole time. And, Blossom family is like, oh, we just want to take care of our grandchild, our niece or nephew. But then you kind of get the feeling the Blossoms, they want to take the child away from Polly, get her out of the picture, and Shayla warns them. And then Polly's back on the run, hiding out at Veronica's apartment that her and her mother owned. And you have the storyline with Veronica. She wants to get back at her mother for forging her name. And she decides she's going to go to the club and, spend a shitload of money and get drunk with Josie from the Pussycats because she's a celebrity, Kevin because she wants a gay, and some kind of mindless eye candy. She goes with Reggie, my man Reggie. And I'm thinking, finally, Reggie's got a storyline. Or at least he's going to be a part of the story. But no, he's just, like she said, mindless arm candy. He says one or two lines. And it's about Veronica and her mother and how her mother said, hey, at least you still have your name. After her father got arrested, that made her sad. And then her mother stabs her in the back using her name. And that storyline basically goes nowhere because at the end of it, her and her mother reconciled their differences. But what pisses me off the most is, this could have been the start of a Reggie storyline with him and Veronica. I'd ship that. Team for Reggie. I mean, when are they going to give Reggie a storyline? When is he going to find that gold mine? When is he going to get mixed up with pirates or date a space alien? Give Reggie a story. So yeah, I didn't feel tonight's episode was particularly interesting. I just thought they kind of covered old ground, except for that ending where we go back to FB, that's Jughead's father, the drunk, and you see him just kind of shambling around his apartment, and they go to a close-up of his closet, and we see his serpent jacket, because he's one of the Southside Serpents, and there is Jason's varsity jacket, meaning that he had some kind of contact with Jason. So, yeah, and this goes back to that theory I had that Jason was mixed up with the Southside Serpents. That when he was selling drugs for them. And like I said, they're my main suspects in his murder because I think that they killed him because he owed them money. He was skimming a little off the top so he could pay for his and Polly's new life. Now, what's interesting, though, is you have to keep this in mind. He wasn't wearing that jacket the day he went missing. But it was in the car that Betty and Jughead found in the last episode, meaning that FP burned that car. And so that means probably FP is the one who torched it. We'll have to see. Like I said, this episode really didn't do much in terms of pushing storylines ahead, except for, at the end when they find Jason's jacket. And we'll see if this plays into my theories, but I'm getting a good feeling about it, because like I said, we've got a Southside Serpent member here, and he's got Jason's jacket. But part of me thinks I still should have stuck with my original theory that it was Benny's father. And we'll have to see which one of those turns out to be right. If it's the Southside Serpent, yay! If it's her father, I'm like, oh shit. I should have just stuck with that. And like I said, we'll have to keep watching, but it won't be back on until March 30th. So, And that was the worst part about tonight's episode. Is it's not going to be back next week with a better episode. We have to wait till the end of the month. Ugh.